Why are we here? We are here to make a revolution. We are here to reject the status quo of mediocrity, to reject the status quo of superficiality, to reject the status quo of averageness, to reject the status quo of ordinariness, to reject the status quo which refuses to embrace the unbearable greatness and dignity of every human being on the face of the planet, to reject the status quo which doesn't realize that all human beings are not only born equal, but are born uniquely creative, and that the unique creativity of every human being is actually the essential pillar upon which society is enacted and erected. And without that fundamental narrative of self, who am I? Who am I? Who are you? You're an irreducibly unique expression of the love intelligence and love beauty and love desire of all that is. That is the initiating, that love desire, that love intelligence, that love beauty is the initiating and animating eros and energy of all that is, that lives in you, as you, and through you, that never was, is, or will be ever again other than through you. And as such, you, right? You, me, you, right? We, you have an irreducibly unique perspective and an irreducibly unique quality of intimacy that come together to form your unique capacity to give your unique gift that's uniquely needed in your unique circle of intimacy and influence. And for that, you were born. And that's the source of your joy and the source of your delight and the source of that which allows you to be aligned with the evolutionary impulse moving uniquely in you. And that's the ticket for you to actually join the larger unique self symphony in which you play your unique instrument. Those few lines, that story of identity, is not fanciful and it's not conjecture, right? It's the best integration of the deepest validated insights at the leading edge of culture in the traditional, modern, and postmodern period. We've taken the best validated insights, woven them together, and from that new weaving emerges a new story of identity, greater than the sum of any of the previous stories, that stands and must stand at the center of every political platform, every economic platform, every social platform, every psychological platform, every tech platform. It has to animate biotech and infotech. We have to download that narrative of identity based on the human being as a unique configuration of evolutionary love into the techplex itself. And herein lies our future. That is the memory of the future. That's why we're here. The failure to do that is existential risk. Existential risk in that we become a world of separate selves in a state of war with each other. Possibility one, which then causes all of the generator functions of the existential risk, which leads to the very death of humanity, the sixth mass extinction. However, it also generates a second form of existential risk. And the second form of existential risk is not the death of humanity, generated by all these factors that come from the rivalrous conflict and the win-lose metrics success story, which ignores the narrative of identity that we just laid out, the narrative of unique self and evolutionary unique self, what we call the narrative of Homo sapien becoming Homo amor, the emergence of the new human and the new humanity. Right? That's the first form of existential risk, but there's a second form. And the second form of existential risk is that if we don't actually embrace, articulate this narrative, deploy it through culture so that every child knows as they grow up, who am I? I'm a unique self. I have a story to tell, a song to sing, a way of laughing, loving, and being. I have a unique instrument to play. And that unique instrument is needed by the unique self symphony. If we don't know that, then we're actually left with a techplex, right, whose intent is to actually extract from us information that's then sold to third parties who are misaligned with us in order to manipulate our decision-making process. That is what's called today the nervous system of the planet. That's the techplex. And it upgrades constantly machine intelligence and constantly downgrades human beings. So the movement we're heading, the two movements today in society are the upgrading, the constant upgrading of machine intelligence and the constant downgrading of human beings. The way to stand in the breach, and this is not depressing. This is an incredibly urgent, ecstatic invitation, right, to actually be revolutionaries, to stand in the breach and say, let there be light, let there be self, because that's the true nature of reality, and to actually articulate the revolutionary message of revolutionary love, which is, who are you? You are an irreducibly unique expression of all that is, that lives in you, as you, and through you, and you are needed by all that is. Wow. Wow. The failure to do that is an existential risk of a second kind. The existential risk, not the death of humanity, but the death of our humanity. Right? That's not the sixth mass extinction. That's not the sixth mass extinction. That's the seventh mass extinction. And that's equally threatening. Oh my God. And oh my God, are we excited? Are we delighted? Because we're being unique self right here in One Mountain, Many Paths. We're being unique self symphony, right? We're standing for the revolution. If you look up on the Center for Integral Wisdom website, there's about 15 sub-websites, and maybe someone can put in the chat box. There's a section called Digital Intimacy. We're just beginning, right, to articulate what that is. And we need to bring that to the center because we all live, right, in this digital plex. And those of us who have children or friends or nephews who are digital natives, we actually get it, right? We're actually raising the next generation as digital natives. They're living inside of the webplex. So the webplex has to become not a place of alienation, not a place of downgraded humans. We've got to actually upgrade, right? Pour evolutionary love into the techplex, into the algorithms. We have to code. We have to literally do a process of recoding the algorithmic structure of the nervous system of the planet with evolutionary love and with these narratives of identity, right? That is how we respond to existential risk. That's how we move from dystopia to literally utopia, to a joy that's unimaginable, to a freedom and dignity, right, that we can't even begin to dream of when human beings come together, both individually, face-to-face, and through the digital intimacy of the tech platforms to create unique self-symphonies that actually self-organize and self-actualize reality, right, to a level of goodness, truth, and beauty, which was the inherent intention of reality itself.